Tara, where do you think Liz Cheney is trying to lead the party, other than what is obvious? And do you think she has more support than is public?
Well, if we took a private secret ballot, I'm sure you would see that. We saw that she won overwhelmingly to keep her seat. Unfortunately, the Republican Party is no longer the party of Reagan or Lincoln. I applaud her for the attempt, but it's pretty clear. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the face of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is Donald Trump's party. Kevin McCarthy made that very clear when he traveled down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. So if this is really the party of Lincoln and Reagan, then this is not how they would behave. Back in the 60s, when you had the crackpots of the John Birch Society, the Republican stalwarts and the conservative stalwarts cast them out. They called them unpatriotic. They recognized they were a menace to the conservative movement. That's not happening this time around. They're acquiescing to the kooks, the crackpots, and the crazies. So the Republican Party needs to decide, are they the party of country? Are they the party of the Constitution over cults? Or are they going to side with the kooks, the crackpots, and the conspiracy theorists? Unfortunately for Liz Cheney right now, she is a minor voice in what's going on here. You have her and possibly Adam Kinzinger, and they're about the only ones who have stepped up on the House side. You have a few on the Senate side, but it is clear that she is swimming against the grain here and that the party is no longer the way she describes it.
Tara, I feel like kooks lets them off scot-free. They are aligned with the groups that they don't want to hold accountable. The groups that participated in Donald Trump's call to storm the Capitol are white supremacists. They're racists.
Indeed.
So do you think we have a language problem? I mean, they're not kooks and crackpots. They're throwing down with racists.
Well, some of them are kooks and crackpots. I mean, the QAnon theories is pretty out there. But you know what, Nicole, you bring up a good point here. I've been reading a lot of literature about what happened after Lincoln was assassinated in Reconstruction. And some of the mistakes that were made that allowed 100 more years of inequality and ushered in Jim Crow, when you don't hold people accountable for their misdeeds. And what the Republican Party is doing is they are falling victim to worrying about a base that is stoked in white grievance, stoked in racism. This idea of the illegitimacy of the last election is disenfranchising millions and millions of Black voters in Philadelphia, Detroit, in Atlanta. Let's not be naive about what's really going on here. They're questioning that. And I think we do need to talk about that more, because that's really where we are. The party of Lincoln would never have stood for this. It was about equality of opportunity, about a freedom. That is not what's happening here. The Republicans have turned into a pro-seditionist, pro-insurrection, anti-democratic party from the top down. So, I agree with you that it is more than just kooks, but they are there and there too. There's a lot of other very, very unsavory things going on here that will destroy the Republican Party if they don't course correct. And frankly, I don't see them doing that.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.